Welcome to the video series about the Transparency and Consent Framework, abbreviated as TCF. This video gives an overview of TCF. You probably heard of the TCF when Google integrated into TCF or when new rulings from the Belgium court punished TCF for violating GDPR. However, understanding how TCF works is challenging, even for adtech experts. That is why we make this video series. Before digging into the TCF, you should know why we need a standard such as TCF. Before GDPR, user data flowed rather freely everywhere. This slide contains a simplified example of users and two firms. Firm A is a website, and Firm B is an advertiser. When users visit the website starts collecting data about the users. It uses the data for many purposes. For example, to measure content performance. Meanwhile, the website can also transfer data to its partners, such as the advertiser. The advertiser can use the data to come up with targeted ads. The price for targeted ads is often higher because the advertiser reduces ad wastage. When the EU introduced the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, processing and transferring users' personal data became more difficult. Now, a firm must ensure that the firm and all data recipients have a legal basis to process personal data for specific purposes, for example, user consent. Most firms obtain user consent with a pop-up consent banner. Firms are facing many challenges when complying with GDPR. One challenge is communicating user consent between firms because each firm specifies purposes differently. For example, the website describes its purposes as "we need your cookie to process payment and provide better content." In contrast, the advertiser phrases its purposes as "we use your personal data for payment information and analytical services." Are they talking about the same purposes? If not, how can they align their purposes? Another reason is that firms use different techniques to store user consent. Go back to our example. Suppose user X gives consent to Firm A and Firm B for selecting personalized ads. The website receives the consent, encodes the information into a string to save space, and stores it. Then the website transfers user data to the advertiser, together with the legal basis, encoded in the string. But the advertiser has no clue how to decode the string. Therefore, it doesn't know what it is allowed to do with the data for user X. In practice, there are way more challenges than we have mentioned here. The industry tackled these challenges by developing the Transparency and Consent Framework, TCF. It is an industry initiative launched by the Interactive Advertising Bureau, IAB, Europe. IAB is a prominent advertising business organization. The TCF aims to provide a standardized procedure to get user consent under privacy regulations such as the GDPR. That is to say, publishers, advertisers, and adtech vendors have a solution to comply with privacy regulations after participating in the TCF. The TCF was formulated based on extensive consultation with representatives from different fields in the online advertising industry, including technology vendors, Xandr, CMPs, OneTrust, and publishers, The Telegraph. The TCF kept improving itself based on feedback and comments from all parties. IAB Europe first introduced the TCF on April 25, 2018. It launched an updated version of the TCF, TCF 2.0, in August 2019. By the end of September 2020, the TCF has made a complete transfer from version 1.1 to 2.0. The TCF builds up a standard in 3 steps. First, it creates a common terminology of purposes shared by all participants. Second, it provides tools to facilitate asking for and storing user consent. Third, it creates a procedure to check whether partner firms have user consent before transferring data between firms. We will introduce the 3 steps in more detail in the other episodes of our video series.